Back away now!
I didn't do this.
Put your hands up, now!
Liam Neeson is back again as Brian Mills in the fourth installment of the Taken movie series. The franchise that turned Neeson into an action hero is set to continue with more thrilling action scenes and suspenseful plot twists. Are you ready to see what's next for Brian Mills? Let's dive in. The Taken movie series made Liam Neeson a popular action hero. The first movie was about a retired CIA agent named Brian Mills, who goes to Paris to save his daughter from kidnappers. The movie was a hit because of its fast-paced action and his acting skills. After the success of the first Taken movie, Liam Neeson became a popular action hero. He returned for Taken 2, where his character was taken, and his daughter had to rescue him and her mother. Although he vowed that Taken 2 would be the end of the series, he returned for Taken 3. In this movie, Brian was framed for his ex-wife's murder and had to take violent action to clear his name. Now, it seems like Neeson will be back again for Taken 4, proving that he keeps getting pulled back in. There's news that Taken 4 is in development with Liam Neeson. Neeson initially ruled out a return as Brian Mills, as he was aware that the audience might lose interest in the series if the same plot was repeated. However, the franchise remained profitable, and Neeson continued to add more action-centric roles to his resume. This led to speculation about whether he would return for a Taken 4 movie. Europa Core would have offered a prequel exploring Brian's early days with the CIA, with a younger actor recast in the role. However, it is Neeson who really led the movie to the top, and he will return for the next chapter, as he has to save someone else who was taken, via giant freaking robot. There's no word on whether writer Luc Besson or director Oliver Megaton will return for the fourth movie. In 2017, the Taken movie series was adapted into a TV series. Cliff Standen played Brian Mills in the show, which acted as an origin story for the characters seen in the movies. Despite both being set in the modern day, the show found Mills seeking revenge for his sister's death and explored his CIA days. The first season of Taken debuted with good ratings, but they gradually declined as the season progressed. A new showrunner came in for season 2, which acted as a semi-reboot and dropped most of its cast, only keeping Standen and co-star Jennifer Beals from Swamp Thing. Despite this fresh start, ratings kept declining and Taken was cancelled after 2 seasons. Another upcoming news about Taken 4 is that Liam Neeson, who's best known for his role as Brian Mills in the popular action thriller film series Taken, has stated that there will be no fourth installment in the franchise. During an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, the 64-year-old actor was asked about the possibility of Taken 4, to which he replied that there are no plans for it. "No, there's not. There are only so many times your daughter can be taken," said Neeson, adding, "Actually, if we do have another, it will be, 'Please, can you take my daughter?'" Neeson is famous for his character's intense monologues threatening the kidnappers, and he has heard it repeated by fans more than once, including in a public restroom. When a movie is successful, other studios try to make similar movies. After the success of Taken in 2009, Hollywood turned to other veteran leading men to make movies like The November Man, starring Pierce Brosnan, The Gunman, starring Sean Penn, The Equalizer, starring Denzel Washington, and Lockout, starring Guy Pearce. Ironically, Taken creator Luc Besson was behind the Pearce-starring movie. Neeson continued to appear in Taken-style films. Since his debut as Brian Mills, he's starred in Non-Stop, A Walk Among the Tombstones, and Run All Night, among others. However, after earning a lot of money from blockbuster movies, it seems like he's trying to get his career back on track. He returned to the art house in 2016 and played Father Cristoval Ferreira in Martin Scorsese's historical drama, Silence. The first Taken movie wrapped up the story perfectly, so a sequel seemed unnecessary. However, Neeson eventually signed up for the project. 20th Century Fox wanted him back for a third movie, but he was initially hesitant. "I said the second installment wouldn't happen, and I said I wouldn't do a third one if someone got taken," Neeson explained on The Graham Norton Show via Radio Times shortly before Taken 3 hit theaters. As he candidly pointed out, having someone be taken again would be insulting to an audience as well as to me. As it turns out, Neeson got what he wanted. No one was taken in Taken 3. Instead, the filmmakers killed off Famke Janssen's Lenny Mills, which served as the impetus for the story. Another hot news about Liam Neeson is that he wants to retire from action films. Liam Neeson has had a successful career with award-worthy performances, including an Oscar nomination for his work in Schindler's List. However, people tend to remember him more for his recent mainstream movies, which is why he wants to retire from action films. Before Taken 3 was released in 2015, Neeson told The Guardian that his action movie days were numbered. "Maybe 2 more years, if God spares me and I'm healthy. but after that I'll stop the action, I think. He added, I'm in a great place career-wise. The success of the Taken films, Hollywood seems to see me in a different light. He understands that the industry views him as an action star, which is great, but he feels he's done what he can in the genre. I get sent quite a few action-oriented scripts, which is great. I'm not knocking it. It's very flattering. But there is a limit, of course. Action movies aren't usually known for their critical acclaim. Their success often lies in their action scenes, such as explosions, firefights, and brutality. The first Taken movie received mediocre reviews, with a 58% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics admitted that it was undeniably fun with slick action, but still largely a brainless exercise. This is faint praise, but better than what lay ahead for the franchise. Taken 2 was lumped together with a 21% Rotten Tomatoes score. Critics deemed it largely bereft of the kinetic thrills and surprises that made the original a hit. It got even worse with Taken 3, which earned a score of 11%. Critics said that it was hampered by toothless PG-13 action sequences, incoherent direction, and a hackneyed plot. They also said that Taken 3 serves as a clear signal that it's well past time to retire this franchise. It seems Neeson would agree. Another noticeable thing is that studios are willing to overlook bad reviews if a movie makes a lot of money at the box office. However, when audiences stop watching, there's a real problem. Taken's first installment made $226.8 million at the worldwide box office, with the vast majority, $145 million, coming from domestic theaters. While the sequel improved overseas, its domestic gross declined nominally. Of its $376.1 million total, Taken 2 grossed only $139 million domestically. Unfortunately, Taken 3 didn't fare much better. It earned only $89 million of its $326.5 million in North America. Even though the series seems to be doing okay overseas, its domestic take has consistently declined. Seemingly accepting that the idea of a fourth Taken movie seemed out of the question, 20th Century Fox opted for a more favorable option, a prequel TV series. The Taken movie series is a set of English-language French action films. The first movie, Taken, was released in 2008 and was created by producer Luc Besson and American screenwriter Robert Mark Kamen. The movie stars Liam Neeson as Brian Mills, a retired CIA agent who travels to Paris to rescue his daughter from a human trafficking ring. The movie was a hit because of its fast-paced action and Neeson's acting skills. The second movie, Taken 2, was released in 2012. In this movie, Brian is taken, and his daughter has to rescue him and her mother. Although Neeson vowed that Taken 2 would be the end of the series, he returned for Taken 3. In this movie, Brian is framed for his ex-wife's murder and has to take violent action to clear his name. Despite the success of the first movie, the sequels received mixed reviews from critics. The first movie received a 58% score on Rotten Tomatoes, while the second and third movies received scores of 21% and 11% respectively. Liam Neeson initially ruled out a return as Brian Mills, as he was aware that the audience might lose interest in the series if the same plot was repeated. However, the franchise remained profitable, and Neeson continued to add more action-centric roles to his resume. This led to speculation about whether he would return for a Taken 4 movie. Despite this decline in domestic earnings, it seems like Neeson will be back again for Taken 4, proving that he keeps getting pulled back in. Are you ready for the next chapter of Brian Mills' story? The fourth installment of the Taken movie series may come with more thrilling action scenes and suspenseful plot twists. Will he be able to save someone else who was taken? Comment your thoughts on the Taken series, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.